Hello and welcome to the premiere show of The Locker Room. I'm Jake Minardi and I'm joined here by Nick Lynch, Noah Mueller, and Luke Jacklin, as well as Ben Heltzer and Miles Berkowitz, who will be joining us shortly. So the first thing we're going to be talking about on this show is the Cowboys-Giants game. I mean, what a game. Malik Neighbors, I got a hot take. Not really hot in my opinion. I think he could be higher up. But here's my question. Is Malik Neighbors a top 5 wide receiver?
Yes, of course. I mean, I think he's top 4. I think that Jefferson, Chase, maybe CD is better than him, but I think I put him at number 4 in the top 5.
I don't think there's any chance Malik Neighbors has become a top 5 receiver. There's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and CD who are definitely better. St. Brown and Puka Nacua are also better, and I think there are maybe a couple more guys that could be better than him too, but there's no way he's in the top 5. I think this game just shows how bad the Dallas defense is. That you let Russell Wilson throw for 450 yards. Malik Neighbors is a great receiver, but Dallas' defense is terrible.
I mean, you could say that, but Malik was doing it all year last year. I mean, 13 games, I believe, 1,200 yards. I mean, I think he's easily top 5 for me. I would go as far to say he's top 4. I honestly think his ability is better than Puka, though Puka's very impressive. I would say give Malik the full year, and he could be top 3. Because I see a huge year in store. I think he's surpassed St. Brown, maybe even Puka. I think he's easily top 5. And to say it's the Cowboys' defense, hey, I mean, I don't see any other receivers doing the types of things that he was doing. I mean, dude was basically blindfolded, caught the ball. And it's not just that game. It wasn't a fluke. We saw it all year last year. If you watch the highlights, watch the tape, that dude is insane. I think he's easily top 5. Only in his sophomore year, easily.
I want to say my argument here is that Jefferson's better than him, Chase is better than him, so is CD, so is Nacua, because Nacua is like the most valuable thing to his team. I don't think St. Brown is better than him. I want you to pull up a clip of St. Brown with 20 seconds left in the game, getting his face mask pulled and catching a 50-yard touchdown to take the lead.
Again, the Dallas defense is just not that good.
Okay, but Amon-Ra is in the best system in the NFL. Malik Neighbors is on the New York Giants, and he's still putting up better stats.
Malik had like 5 different quarterbacks last year and still put up 1,200 yards.
No, I think this year Neighbors can definitely be better than Puka Nacua. I don't think it's going to be a good year for Nacua or CD. I think CD, he's going to drop the ball too many times, and it's just going to ruin the Cowboys season.
I think that's ridiculous to say, considering in the first 2 games, Nacua has been the most valuable thing to the Rams. Respectfully, I do think Nacua is going to have another great year. He had like 140 receiving yards and like 14 catches first game. But I do think Neighbors can reach that level.
I would totally agree with Noah. I think he's borderline. I think he's the 5th best receiver. Now that Noah's saying that, I totally agree. Nacua is the most valuable thing to his team. And obviously Malik Neighbors, with only 1 full year of play, I would like to see a little bit more. I'm not going to be too delusional of a Giants fan. You know, I could say that, but I think he's easily top 5. I mean, just watch the film. He's insane. But last topic point for this discussion, where do the Giants go from here? I mean, I know 37 points, way better week on offense, but again, Luke did make a good point. The Cowboys defense is a little bit more lackluster. So where do you think this is a good sign for the Giants?
I mean, it is a good sign for the Giants, but they're going to start the season 0-4. You're not beating Kansas City, you're not beating the Chargers, and if you lose to New Orleans, I think that's it for Brian Dable.
I mean, I like to have faith in my team. I'm hoping we get one of these games. I honestly think we could beat the Chiefs. I mean, I know I sound like an idiot, but I think we could beat the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs look extremely lackluster, and I think we could honestly steal one against them.
So the offense for the Giants has looked good, but overall, the team hasn't won. How long do you think it is before Jackson Dart is starting at quarterback?
I think it's going to be next season. I don't want to see him on the field this year because with how bad the offensive line was week 1, it's just going to start all over again with Daniel Jones. And because Daniel Jones, he wasn't in the best system when he was in quarterback, and I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Jackson Dart.
I think after a game like that where Russell Wilson throws for 450 yards, you can't really bench him in this situation. That game wasn't his fault for losing it. It was on the defense.
Right.
But in my opinion, I think Dart starts next season. And where they go from here, realistically, just keep doing what they did in that game. Keep airing out the ball because the deep ball did work really well. considering Dallas's defense isn't that great. But still, I mean, the receivers can do it. They have the ability to make plays.
I think where they go from here is getting a new defensive coordinator because, honestly, he's not using Shane Bowen is not using those guys up front right. I mean, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. I mean, dude, Wink would have a field day with this team when he was a coach. I mean, I just don't see how, I just don't think he's using them right. But I think they definitely have to figure out the defense right. I mean, the original concern was the offense, but now it's looking like the defense. I think it's definitely a defensive coordinator problem.
I mean, yeah, but like on the defense, I agree the secondary is not great. But one guy that really stands out on the defense for me is Drew Phillips. He is going to be a really great cornerback for the Giants in the coming years because he got him in last year, like 4th or 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Drew Phillips is going to be a key part of the Giants defense this year.
Totally agree. I mean, he backed up the talk last game. But I'd say that's all we got for this discussion. Don't go anywhere though. Ben and Miles are going to be joining us shortly, and we're going to be discussing the Bengals and Joe Burrow.
Welcome back to the locker room. I'm Noah Muller here, joined by Ben Heltzer, Miles Berkowitz, and Jake Minardi. And now our second topic will be about the Cincinnati Bengals versus Jaguars game. The Bengals ended up winning 31-27, but not before Jake Browning had to come in due to a Joe Burrow injury, and he suffered turf toe.
Yeah, he needs surgery out for 3 months, and this is a really, really tough hit for the Bengals. They've been through it before, but like this year, they were primed to make the playoffs, compete for the division title, and Burrow being out again is just really unfortunate.
My issue with it is you look at the Bengals team. They have Burrow, they have Chase Brown even now, they have Jamar Chase, and then now they just paid T. Higgins pretty much the same amount they paid Jamar Chase, and I just find it crazy to figure out what they're going to do with this team considering they have no offensive line. They barely have a defense. You're not getting the important parts of the team set. You're just getting the skill positions, and I find it as if you're never going to succeed that way.
Yeah, I agree. I have no idea what they're going to do, but at the same time, they're still 2-0, right? Obviously, they had the Browns and now the Jaguars, so I would love to see them against, a competent team. But Jake Browning, he did throw 3 picks, but he also threw some touchdowns. Like, he didn't look terrible. I just hope that it's going to be enough to kind of, carry them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the new Jameis Winston. What do you guys think over there?
I mean, I'm just hopeful for the Bengals. I honestly feel bad. I feel like it's always a little something with either Joe Burrow or something else going on. But, I mean, 3 months on a toe injury, I just don't see that. Like, I didn't even watch the game, but that's crazy. 3 months on a toe injury. But, as Ben said, they're still 2-0. I still think that, the playoffs are wide open. If Joe Burrow can return by the end of the season, if it's 3 months, I mean, maybe, a few weeks before, I still think they got a chance. Jake Browning, he's not all that terrible, and they have some definitely winnable games. I mean, 2-0, Vikings coming up. The Vikings with J.J. McCarthy, he really has not figured it out at all yet, and plus he's injured, so he's not even going to be playing. I think that's a winnable game to get them to 3-0. Broncos, that's a winnable game, although they are a good team. Some tough teams after that, but, divisional games, they do have some easier ones. I think, they can definitely make do with Jake Browning. Do have a tough O-line situation, but if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm just going to keep hopeful and just sit tight for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I see this as bad karma for how the Bengals handled the offseason with Trey Hendrickson. Like, they let this guy hold out, and then on, the last day of training camp, they gave him a big contract. This is bad karma. Their ownership is terrible. But I feel like Jake Browning could win them some games. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs in that division. I mean, you have the Steelers who are still, going to put up a fight. They have the Ravens, obviously, who are better than them at this point. And I just don't see them doing anything. A name to watch out for, though, if they do get aggressive, is Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. He's not really doing anything. And I think if he goes there, he would at least give them some hope while Joe Burrow is out for 3 months.
To look back at what Jake just said about how the Vikings will be playing the Bengals next week, and both quarterbacks will be out who are starting, I'm going to be so honest here. I think the Vikings take that game. I just think their defense is like one of the best in the NFL, and I think they punish any quarterback that they play.
Is it in
It's gonna be a
Minnesota?
defensive game.
I'm not positive where it is, but at
Jake, where is it?
yeah, where is
What?
The game.
the game?
Is it in Minnesota?
Not sure, to be honest, but I think it's definitely going to be a defensive game.
Well, regardless,
Well, if it's a defensive game, then Cincinnati loses because Cincinnati has no defense aside from Trey Hendrickson.
it's still a prime position
It's
for
in
them
Minnesota.
to go 3-0.
It's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I think
I think the
Minnesota
Vikings
will
can
take
take
that
that
game. Honestly, it's kind of a toss-up considering it's Jake Browning versus who did the Vikings name as their starter? Anybody know?
Okay, can't even
Was it
No
Carson
idea.
Wentz?
tell you. Yeah, again,
I think
Carson,
Carson
Wentz.
Wentz.
Carson
Okay.
Wentz.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna
it'll
an
be
interesting one.
it'll be Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning, which will be obviously the best game of the week.
I was about to
And,
say I will not be watching that game.
I will be watching that game very closely.
Is it 1 o'clock?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock. It's definitely not a primetime
Yeah,
game.
they will not show that game on Red Zone a whole lot.
Yeah, I'll just have it playing in the back of red zone.
But to go to our final topic here is Brian Thomas Jr. in his first 2 games. The Jaguars' defense, our offense has been pretty good. Trevor Lawrence hasn't done so bad. Travis Etienne has finally reprised his role as the RB1. But Brian Thomas Jr., who was really the big piece of this team last year that was talked about a lot, very highly by the Jaguars front office, he is dropping too many footballs.
I know.
mean,
I don't know what's going on with
he
him.
dropped a 4th down. I mean, is it a sophomore slump? Is it just in general? He doesn't
Many
really
people have them, but like people were comparing him to Malik Neighbors, who's right up there. People were saying he was even better than Malik Neighbors at the end of last year.
Yeah,
and now like a lot of the Jags offense has figured it out. Obviously, ETN has like more rushing yards than he did last year already. Like they're not looking bad, but like Brian Thomas Jr. is just kind of slacking.
I think he's the key for them, honestly. Like, he probably lost them that game. And that's a good point, Ben. I actually want to get to that. I think it's crazy how people compared him to Malik Neighbors. I know he had a good first year, but if you just watch the football games, you could see Malik Neighbors is so much better. Yeah, just honestly, I think that debate is fully closed. But, yeah, I think for the Jaguars, they don't look all that bad. I think if he figures it out, I think that's really the big thing for them.
Yeah, I still think the key to Brian Thomas is Travis Hunter. I think if he takes more attention off
true.
of what Brian Thomas has been doing and he gets open more, I feel like that could open up much more for Brian Thomas.
All right, everyone. Well, that was the last topic there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back discussing what we all think could be the biggest disappointment of the NFL season so far. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the locker room. So, to wrap up the NFL, we're going to talk about our biggest disappointment so far this year in the NFL. So, Ben, who do you have for biggest disappointment?
This one was hard because for me, there's no real teams that have been that disappointing. Besides one, so I'm just going to kick it off with the obvious pick, which is Kansas City. You know, they're 0-2. The offense hasn't looked amazing. Obviously, the defense got picked apart by the Chargers in Week 1, but they do have what should be a bounce-back game against the Giants. So hopefully, you know, they can get back on track.
Yeah, I also think Kansas City has had a really hard schedule. First, you got the Chargers in Brazil, and then you got the Eagles in the Super Bowl rematch. But Jake and Miles, who do you have for biggest disappointment?
I'd like to agree with the Chiefs, but I would also say the Texans, very disappointing. Week 2 of the season, you know, I don't like to say disappointing because it's very early, you know. But if we're talking about teams, I would say Texans too. You know, really ever since C.J. Stroud's rookie year, it's just been extremely lackluster. I mean, they got hyped up with his rookie year, and then ever since then sort of underperformed. But if we're talking about players, I would definitely throw Brian Thomas Jr. in there too. I mean, he was set to have an amazing sophomore season, and just so far not doing it.
Yeah, for my pick, I'm going to go with a player here. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but I'm going to go with Ashton Genty. He's 13th in carries, and he's averaging 2.7 yards a carry. We thought this guy was going to be the next Saquon Barkley, and he's just been terrible, whether that's the Raiders' O-line, whether that's their quarterback play. But I just think he's been really underwhelming, and also I have him in fantasy, so I'm not too happy about that.
Yeah, I also have him in fantasy. Not too happy about it, but you know, I'm confident. I mean, I feel like it's a Raiders problem. I really don't feel like the Raiders is too good of a situation for him. But I'm confident that it'll bounce back. He's an animal.
I
Yeah,
mean-
he should be good, but
Yeah.
we haven't seen it thus far.
I mean, for my pick for biggest disappointment, I'm gonna go with the only team that I think has been really disappointing this year, and that's the Chicago Bears. The Bears, I mean, they have an 11-point lead in Week 1 over the Vikings, and they blow it in the fourth quarter. They give up 21 points to the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, and then Week 2 they go and play the Lions, and they don't even keep it close. I mean, I thought they would after that week, but the Lions just dropped 52 points on them and win the game. But I think Caleb Williams, now I think he's still developing. Like, I think they this year should say a lot about Caleb Williams, but just the offense in general. I mean, they have a really great offense. They have Roma Dunze, DJ Moore. I mean, with those weapons, you should be able to do something. And so far, the Bears have just done nothing with it.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. The Bears, on paper, their offense should be able to compete. But, I mean, the defense has just not been great so far. Obviously, with the Vikings, that major comeback, and then the Lions getting blown out. They do have the Cowboys this week, which, I mean, considering how the Cowboys played offensively this past week against the Giants is going to be tough for them. But the defense for the Cowboys wasn't great, so hopefully that the Bears can take advantage of that and maybe come away with the win.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams, he's been struggling all throughout training camp with just the accuracy of his throws, and I think some of that has carried on into the season, and it's not a good look for the Bears. I mean, you're a first overall pick. You should be able to perform well.
Yeah, I mean, I was never really a huge fan of Caleb Williams, but, number one pick, like, extreme talent coming into the draft, never wished anything bad on him. I thought he could do well in the NFL, but just nothing special yet, nothing special at all.
I mean, I'm not saying that Caleb can't do well. I think he still can do well, but it's just so far, he just hasn't been putting up the numbers that everyone expected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Bears are kind of like the Jets. And as Rocco would say, he'd say same old Jets. It's kind of same old Bears, right? Their quarterbacks have never been good. You have to go back to, like, the 50s with Sid Luckman. He was their last great quarterback. That was lifetimes ago. Caleb Williams, I really don't expect much from him, just for the simple fact that he is on the Bears, and they've never been good.
I honestly completely agree with that. Well said.
Yeah, I could not have said it better myself.
Well, we'll be right back. Luke will be joining us, though, on set in just a moment as we discuss some college football.
All right, welcome back. We're going to be discussing some college football. We're just going to look at the AP poll, and just want to start off. Who do we think is the clear-cut number one best team in the country?
I mean, in my opinion, they're champions until they're not. It's Ohio State for me. They're number one in the AP poll. They've done nothing to disprove the fact they should be number one. Obviously, they beat Texas, and then they whooped up on Grambling State, and I think Ohio University or something like that.
Yep.
But regardless, they are the top team in my opinion.
I think Georgia's the best team in college football. Have looked dominant so far. Just won a great game in overtime against Tennessee, 44-41. Gunnar Stockton, their new quarterback, he's great, threw for 300 yards. Very accurate passer, tough, runs a lot, and their defense is not as good as it always is, but it's still a Georgia defense. They're going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat them.
I think Georgia got kind of lucky last week, to be honest. I think they're good. Georgia's always going to be good. They're a great program. But, I mean, Tennessee should have won that game, for being completely honest. That kicker, the fear in his eyes when he kicked that, everybody knew it wasn't going in. But for my pick, I have Oklahoma. I think if you have the best quarterback in the nation thus far after 3 weeks, who is John Mateer, that will take you a lot way. And I look at these other programs. I look at Ohio State. I look at Penn State. And I look at LSU, and I say, they have a great roster, but do I trust their quarterback? 3 weeks in, I'd say no. I still trust Oklahoma's quarterback more than I do Ohio State, LSU, and Penn State.
Hey, hot take on the Oklahoma. I mean, maybe we look back later in the season and see you're right, but I would personally like to agree with Ben. Ohio State, I think they're the clear-cut number one team. I mean, they beat Texas, who was originally number one. It's obviously still early, so I don't like to talk about this too much because this whole top 25, in my opinion, is still like pretty awful. Like I feel like the end of the season is going to be way different. Like
yeah, no, 100%. Like Penn State, Penn State and Ohio State play in like a month or so. If Penn State wins, they're number one, obviously. Like one game can change the entire rankings. Obviously, we saw it with Ohio State and Oregon last year, and after Michigan beat them, also
exactly like a team like Iowa State, who's number 12. I mean, who have they even beat? Really, let me look. I don't think they've done that much to impress and to earn that ranking. They beat Iowa by 3, Kansas State by 3 in the opener, and they just barely beat Arkansas State by 8. I mean, 12th in the nation now.
Yeah,
We'll
a lot of this is still going based off of last year, which is why.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Miles, you said you think Oklahoma is the best team in the league. They very well could be in like a month or two because we don't know. I mean, they obviously beat Michigan, so.
Yeah,
I think if they beat Texas.
Yeah, that's the thing with Ohio State. It's just if they can beat Michigan, they'll beat number 1. But obviously they haven't over the past couple of years. But we'll see what happens with them.
Talking about not being able to win a big game, Penn State does not deserve to be number 2. They've never beat Michigan or Ohio State. And until they do that, I don't think they could be considered one of the best teams in the country.
Well, a lot of people have them winning the Big Ten this year and beating both of those teams, as well as a team like Oregon in the Big Ten. But obviously it hasn't happened yet, like you said. So I don't disagree with you there. But I think just on paper, talent-wise, roster-wise, and based off of last year, they made it to the semifinal.
I'd say otherwise, if we're thinking about teams who are undeserving in their spot, Notre Dame, I mean, I'm not saying they're not one of the best 25 teams in the country. I think they're definitely one of those teams who are the top 25. But right now, you just can't be ranked if you're 0-2. Like, they don't have a win through 3 weeks of college football. They can't be ranked, in my opinion. I'd say give it a few weeks, let them get a few wins. Obviously, they're Notre Dame. They're good. They've lost close games, but they haven't even got a win yet. I don't see how you could still be ranked.
I agree.
Yeah, I see Notre Dame as the Cowboys of college football. Like, they're always coming in highly ranked, and they always say it's their year. It's never their year. We watch them every week, and they always lose big games. I just don't understand how they lost to Texas A&M last week. That was a crazy game, and they always find themselves on the losing end of big games.
Yeah, I agree with that. They always manage to lose close games. They've been doing it for years, and I think Notre Dame should join a conference. I think it would help them overall as a program.
I agree, especially because now their schedule it's a cakewalk. Like, they literally have pretty much nobody ahead of them to try and make up for their 2 losses right now. So.
Yeah, it's harder to get good teams to play you when you're scheduling different games every week because you're not in a conference.
Exactly. All right, well, that's all we got for college football. Sit tight. Noah and Nick are going to join us to discuss our last topic in MLB's baseball.
Welcome back. Noah and Nick are here to join us and talk about baseball. So over the weekend, the Yankees and Red Sox played. The Yankees just took 2 out of 3 at Fenway against the Red Sox. Luke, as a Yankee fan, going into the wild card, how confident are you?
Not at all. There's no reason to be confident in this team. Their pitchers haven't shown it consistently. Hitters haven't shown it consistently. Just like they did last night, they could play great games. They could play bad games. They just lost 7-0 to the Twins. Then they beat them 10-9, but they were up 10-1 at some point. It's just I don't trust any part of this team.
Yeah, they are a true wild card in every sense of the word. I watch them some games, and I'm like, wow, this could be their year. And then I watch them the next day, and I'm like, wow, they look like the 2024 White Sox. I really don't know what to expect from these guys at all times.
Yeah, it just changes by the second, honestly. Like, you go up 10-1, you're like, oh, we're playing a great game. And then the Twins just start coming back, and it's 10-9. It didn't really feel like they had a big rally or anything. It's just every inning they scored a couple runs, and the next thing you know, they're back in the game.
Yeah, so looking ahead, we have the wild card. The Astros, Yankees, and Red Sox are all vying for these 3 spots. It seems like that's what it's going to be. And I'm really looking forward to the wild card weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we could see that maybe the Yankees and Red Sox play each other.
That would be interesting.
So my thing with the Yankees is the Yankees are not a consistent baseball team. Let's just be honest here, going back to what you said. The pitching has been very on and off. The consistency in terms of hitting for average has been very off. It's just the long ball that the Yankees are advertised for a lot of years. And they are the definition of a wild card team, as you said, and I do not see them getting very far, even if they make the wild card. And they could not even make it past the wild card. It really depends on how the pitching is on that particular day. The Yankees one day are great, the next day are just like a really terrible team.
I mean, I know they tried to add to the bullpen at the trade deadline, but I feel like ever since that, the bullpen has just gotten worse. I mean, I don't think, like you said, the Yankees with that bullpen and some people in that rotation, like, I don't think they can make it past the wild card. I mean, the thing with Boston, though, I think they're just going through a slump right now. Roman Anthony's hurt. That's a big part of their team. But I think once he comes back for come playoff time, I think the Red Sox can go pretty far, maybe as far as the ALCS.
Yeah, so looking ahead in a hypothetical playoff series between the two teams, we have for the Red Sox going Garrett Crochet, Brian Bayo, and Lucas Giolito. And then on the Yankees side, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and Cam Schlittler. Looking ahead, I see that playoff series, at least in the pitching department, favoring the Yankees. But then again, we don't really know what to expect out of this team.
Yeah, those three guys you just said for the Yankees. Fried, obviously, first half of the year was great, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Then for like a month or two was not good. And he's been better recently, but I don't know how much we could really trust him. I mean, I do trust him. He's our number one. But who knows what we're going to see from him. Or Don. He's been very good this year, but we've seen from the Yankees in the last couple of years, he could be a really bad pitcher. And Schlittler, he's been great since they called him up. But last night he had a rough start, and he's had a couple rough starts. But besides that, he's been great. So all three of these guys could be a very good start or a very bad start. They're just, you don't really know what you're going to get out of them.
In terms of looking at this series from a pitching perspective, I do have the Red Sox here, actually, because I feel like with Schlittler, the experience will not be there for him in the playoffs. Obviously, it's a different environment. And Crochet, ever since the switch from relief pitcher to starting pitcher, has been one of the most dominant in the league. Let's be honest here. And I just think overall the Red Sox are a more consistent baseball team.
Yeah, I agree. One more thing we have to see is Aaron Judge hit in the playoffs. If Judge gets hot, the team could go as far as the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, we could see this going a number of ways with Judge. Again, a wild card, as I said, we have no clue what to expect from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be it for the locker room this week. Thank you for tuning into the premiere show. We'll see you next week for more sports discussions.